edit some stuff.
Edit some stuff. So let's see. Should be up there now.
I saw what it said. We are broadcasting live.
Let's go.
Live and in charge. We are here.
Doing the thing.
Why is it not popping up though? Like really? Facebook, you special.
Isn't it always?
There we go. Now I can edit this and tag you.
Now.
Now I can tag you. Oh, good Lord. My computer is like, no, I don't like doing this.
I don't like this. I don't
like the things you're doing. Why are you such a jerk?
You're making me work too hard.
All right, everybody.
Well, I just posted it to my page. We good.
Well, I didn't tag you anyway. I didn't tag you, sir. You are tagged.
Yeah,
you
but
now.
I know I got the tag, but the problem with that is sometimes people don't see that. So.
I see. Uh-oh. Technology that made Christina leave us. That's a shame. There she is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody to our first inaugural discussion on Mandarin. My name is Cliff Wynn, as some of y'all know. To the bottom is my lovely.
Are we discussing the Chinese language? You said Mandarin.
Yes. Oh, did I say Mandarin? I thought I said Mandalorian.
You
bad.
You said Mandarin, and I was thinking like,
live,
what are we talking about?
This is live, damn it, live. So to the bottom is my lovely daughter Christina, and to my right is Big Nate, who I have known for over 30. Oh, good Lord. How old are we now?
Golly. Man, too old, brother, too old.
He didn't know me longer than Christina been in this world, put it that way. Longer than Cameron been in the world.
Lord, I changed that baby's diapers. Hold on. Is it too early for me to start my cigar?
No, sir. You go right ahead.
Thank you very much.
We won't be discussing everything about The Mandalorian, but we will be discussing the episode that launched yesterday, which was season 2, episode 4. They're doing it as chapters, though, so it's chapter 12, but technically it's season 2, episode 4, called The Siege. Just so everybody knows, and nobody's surprised, there will be spoilers in this damn thing. So there's going to be a lot of spoilers. So if you don't want to see spoilers, you might as well walk on out the door, turn around, because we are going to be discussing stuff that you know. And y'all might not want to hear if you're saving up and waiting for it.
So if you have not seen chapter 12 yet, exit stage left.
Like quick, fast, and in a hurry. So let me just give a quick summary of where we're at in the story. The story begins pretty much where the last one left off. Mando has dropped off his little passenger, and him and the baby are flying off to go meet Miss Ashoka Tano, who, you know, everybody's waiting to see. Unfortunately, he didn't have enough credits to do anything with his ship, so his ship is a piece of trash right now.
Trash.
It's literally falling apart, and so he gets to the original world that we first saw when the show first started, where he was getting bounties from Grief Karga, and so he gets there, and long story short, they end up raiding the Imperial base that is there. Many adventures ensue, and we're going to get even further into that. And this is really where the spoilers start coming, because that's just basic summary. In the end, he leaves with the baby and heads off.
Hey, quick fast. Hold on. First, let's talk about how they played him so shady.
Wait. Now we're going to get into that in the discussion, sir. Well, I was just doing a summary, a summarization, an overview, a high, you know, like the first thing people used to read in the Cliff Notes when they was trying to do their reports. That's what I was trying to do.
You know, you doing summary. All right, okay, I understand.
So going further into the discussion, so people, we are really going to get into the damn spoilers. So you need to walk away now if you don't want to see any spoilers. Now it's over. You have no choice now. You're committed. So first thing I want to discuss is, okay, this episode, the baby wasn't that bad to me, because the last 2 episodes he's been a little jerk. But this one, man, he started off pretty cute. He started off pretty cute.
I'm tired of people trying to cancel Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's my guy, man. He can't be canceled.
Baby Yoda is a little jerk. He is a little jerk. He sat there. He heard. Now I understand he's 50, and that's pretty young in Yoda years.
I'm about to say my man like 6 months old, man. Quit tripping.
But that being said, he understood that was the last of her brood, and he sat there for the last 2 episodes trying to eat her babies.
Wait. How did he know? Oh, man.
She mentioned it multiple times.
Man, come on. He's 6 months old. He don't understand her language.
He ain't no 6 months old. He is at least 1 or 2.
That fool was thinking himself, ooh, delicious. You got to put some caramel on that. Maybe some barbecue sauce. Look, man, he was just trying to eat, man. I can't be mad at the brother.
He was not. That little thing right there was not trying to eat. Yeah, he was trying to eat, but he had food and he ignored the food. He didn't care about the food they had. He wanted them eggs. He wanted some nice live crab legs or frog legs.
Well,
that's what he wanted.
Come on, man. Who don't want 2 eggs scrambled with some hot sauce? We tripping. Come on.
I was about to start calling him Gollum because that's how he was acting. And now, wait a minute now, Nate. We didn't raise our shared kids. If we tell the kid no, you stay out of it. You don't go back to it, correct?
Yeah, true that. But how many kids, you can't backhand. You can't be spanking Baby Yoda. He'll use the force on you. All you can do is say no.
Although,
come on, y'all.
I will say, him stealing whatever that food was from that kid was absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
Yes. Like, oh, you gonna say no? That's fine. I'll take it anyway.
That fool took his Girl Scout cookies. I fell out laughing.
And then to make it so, in the beginning, you got Mando there trying to explain to the baby. And you, sir, brought up a very valid point. He's 50 years old, but he's probably 1 to 2 years old. Why are you trying to explain to a 1 to 2 year old where to put the wires?
It's like,
oh my God, I was in tears.
Baby Groot
right. Yes, it was just like I Am Groot. It was just like, no, don't hit the big button. This one?
He was like, not that one.
I'm gonna kill everyone.
Does anybody got duct tape?
I mean, he tried to tell this one. I was thinking to myself, my baby's 11. And if I'd have been like, the red one, he'd be like, the blue one, the red one. Exactly. It was hilarious. Hilarious.
And we have all had this moment, and CJ, you've had this moment where you've told your little sister Angel to go get something, and you go, Angel, go get the blue thing. And she's standing there like, what? The blue thing? Huh? And she's looking around, and the blue thing is literally right here. It's right here. And she can't find it.
I've had that moment with like my own people as a supervisor. Like, no, it doesn't.
Where's that cup you're looking for?
But I'm sorry, I'm watching it right, and I had to stop it and rewind it because the look that Baby Yoda had when he kept looking at each wire, and he kept looking at each wire, and then he put them together, and I had
no. You know why he put them together. You as a father know why he put them together. Because out of his mouth said, do not put them together. And so what does he do? I'm going to put these sons of bitches together.
And then that fool got the shock of his life. I said, Lord Jesus. And then, hold on. And he going to say, are you okay? Fool! Ain't nobody.
I done been electrocuted.
He was fine.
He ain't okay.
He was fine. Okay. If Yoda can survive being shocked by the Emperor, Baby Yoda can survive that little shockity shock. It wasn't that bad.
Man.
So Mando ends up landing on his original world with that the show started with Grief Karga, where he was getting bounties and stuff to go chase. But during this, before he even lands, we see Cara Dune, who is played by Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
She has become the marshal for that world.
And if you paid attention, what has his former boss turned into?
He has become basically the governor of that world. He's basically a governor of that world. So, you got Cara Dune, who's right there. She used to be a shock trooper for the Republic. And then we find out a little bit about her backstory before the thing is over, where the Republic remarks and asks where she's from, and come to find out she's from Alderaan, which, as we all know, A New Hope was that's the world where Princess Leia was from, and Bail Organa, which was destroyed.
And which was destroyed. And so when he asked her, he was like, "Did you lose?" She was like, "I lost everything." And I mean, that was gripping to me when I found out she was from Alderaan. So I was like, wow.
And just think about how much she done lost, just everything. I mean, her whole world was destroyed. Luckily, she was off world, and she wasn't there during all that. But to find out that your whole world is destroyed, not that your planet got bombarded by the Empire, not that maybe a city got destroyed. No, your whole world is gone.
Your entire planet
it's dust.
Is gone.
There's no coming back from that. Just no. So we see her motivation for why she is the way she is. And then we got Carl Weathers' character, Grief Karga, who is, as Big Nate said, he is the now governor of the world, although I think he's just the governor for that city, and that's the only city we really see on that world. We don't really see if there's other things on that world other than the stormtrooper base, the Imperial base. And then one of our other buddies ends up showing up from the first episode, where they grabbed, that was his first bounty. That the Mando
that he put him in kryptonite. Well, I didn't catch his name.
Kryptonite. What is this? Superman?
Not kryptonite. Carbonite.
Oh Lord, y'all get things all confused.
Hey Noel, how you doing? Nikki's in the
kryptonite, carbonite. Hey, tell her, say hello. What's up?
Yeah, no, it wasn't kryptonite. It was carbonite. It was
carbonite. I know. I'm saying, but what was his name? I didn't know his name.
His race is Mythrol. I can't remember. I couldn't figure out what his name was. But that's his race. I think he's the only one that they've had, just like Yoda. Just like how the baby is called the child, because they don't have a name for Yoda's race, and the only one we know is Yoda. So right. So they call the race Yoda, although there have been plenty of force seeker or force wielders in that line of folks, or that race, and they just never. George Lucas never gave that race a name. I don't know why, but George Lucas being George Lucas, that's how he is. So we have those three, and they convince Mando to help them out while they're doing repairs to his ship. And we all see one guy, one of the people that are repairing, just look weirdly at the ship. And I already knew that guy was
literally, I knew it. I literally
knew we all knew.
That camera pan happened.
Yeah.
Cinematography.
Mm-hmm. We already knew that he was going to do something to the Razor Crest. We just didn't know what.
And that's a horrible trope, I think, that Hollywood loves to do. It's too much. That was a little bit on the nose foreshadowing, at least for me. I mean, at least be creepy about it. Like, have it later on come out that it was the Mythrol guy that was doing it. That he was the one that said it, not that it was this mechanic that was working on the ship.
Yeah, that would have been a twist instead of the other
right.
one.
So then they head. So Mando's like, I'm not going anywhere without the baby, and then Grief Karga is like, no, we got some place for the baby, and it comes to find out the place that they used to have all their meetings in, that was a bar, is now a school.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
And 3PO droid is in there, so Anakin's legacy continues. Where, and that's one thing I don't get. How did Anakin start that line of droids? Are you telling me those droids was never around until Anakin built 3PO? Or 3PO just...
Well, hey, I mean, but he was Anakin Skywalker, so he started a trend. I mean, let's tell the truth. How many trends have been started by people that was less powerful than Anakin Skywalker? I mean, if Kim Kardashian can start trends, Anakin Skywalker can start trends.
Well, wait a minute now. Wait. So 3PO, let's say Anakin did start the trend. How did they put in protocols for them not to decipher Sith language if Anakin built that thing? How did he know to put those protocols in there? Anakin designed it.
Yeah, Anakin designed it, but that doesn't mean that Anakin didn't put some touches on it while he was, when he was a so-called Padawan himself. You never know what upgrades he put into that, into C-3PO. So,
And he
that
also could
got
have just
added as the
given the designs to the actual people who would know what the fuck to do with
Yeah,
it.
I mean, let's look at it. He could have just given it away for free because if you're supposed to be on the side of good, if you're supposed to be a Jedi, then you're selfless. Supposed to.
Or it could have been just, oh, these are the protocol droids languages. Here, download them, put them in the bot, something like that. Just a legit software. So they leave
see
the
Anakin
baby
sitting
there.
in a meeting, just being like, these are the lenses I want him to have. Cool, bye.
So they leave the baby there, and then we have a little interaction between the baby and the kids. All the kids are sitting there whispering because for some reason that place only has human kids in the school, although there's plenty of aliens on that world. So I'm a little confused why there's only Terrans in the school, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. And so they run off and go to an Imperial base that was there. It's the last base on the world. It's supposed to be an outlook, and they want to storm it and basically get rid of it.
Slow down. I'm sorry, you glanced over a little interaction. He stole his kid's girls.
That was later on while they were attacking the base, sir. That was while they were attacking the base. I didn't glance over it. I was going to come back to that.
All right, okay.
Because that's kind of a side story while they're attacking the base. Right?
Dude, I swear he stole that kid's Girl Scouts cookies. I fell out laughing.
Well, first of all, and all of us went to grammar school. What grammar school allow you to eat cookies in the middle of class?
The one that has a C-3PO droid. That's what I'm saying. C-3PO droid let you eat them cookies.
They allow you to eat the cookies in the school in front of all the other kids. Because I seem to recall my teachers always saying, if you don't have enough for the class, don't be eating in it. And maybe I'm just crazy.
Time out. This the Outer Rim. This ain't CPS. This
ain't man, please. They used to do it back in the olden days in the westerns. You didn't eat in the schools unless you had enough for everybody. Come on now.
Man, you in the Outer Rim. Thank God people ain't getting shot. He stole the kid cookies.
Well, the kid was, and this is why I still say Baby Yoda's an asshole. He stole that kid's cookies. I told your little ass you can't have none of my cookies. And he said, no, I'm taking your cookies.
And they used the force. Just was like, they lied to you, punk.
And the kid just sat there like, mother. He didn't even know what happened. And what gets me about all this is, how does nobody know about the force? The New Republic's line is even, may the force be with you. And yet everybody acts like they don't know nothing about Jedi. They don't know nothing about the Sith. They don't know any of this stuff. It's like it's all gone.
All just don't think it's really real. Like they're of the mind that if I haven't seen it, it doesn't exist. So if they've never experienced the Force, because like even Finn kind of knew what the Force was, but then he experienced it, and he was like, oh, but not.
And that's still a loss.
Outer Rim. So
that was still a lost thing. I was hoping. Jedi. Right, I was hoping by episode the second part, by The Last Jedi, that both Finn and Rey would have been working toward being Jedis and not just Rey. That was a big drop.
Let's stay on topic.
Why? That was gonna piss you off. That was gonna piss you off, wasn't it? That was gonna piss you
off. We got other shows to do. Let's stay on topic.
So they end up going to raid the base, and they think it's just an outlook. And there were some funny interactions with Mythrol there, where he was like, they were trying to get into the door, and Mando says, I'll be right back. And they do end up getting in the door, but not before a stormtrooper just falls from the sky. And before we get further into that, let me just say, these are some dedicated ass troopers. Who the hell is paying them? That's all I want to know. The Emperor's gone. Where are they getting money to fund these soldiers? And why are these soldiers and Imperial officers so loyal to a dead thing?
Well, wait, before we get into the answer, I just want to tell Nikki if she stopped by to say hi. I know she's a little lost. We're talking about the TV show on Disney, The Mandalorian. And basically, The Mandalorian is a Star Wars show that picks up 5 years after the Return of the Jedi. So if you're not really a Star Wars person, and it might not be what you've never seen an episode, but these three on this call,
well, he just jumped out.
Anyway, all three of us, we're Star Wars fans. I got it from Daddy-O. So we've all seen all the movies.
She got it honest.
We've all seen all the movies, and we've all watched the first season of The Mandalorian, and now we're talking about season 2.
Mm-hmm. I want to know why Nate's
Well, he's on his
feed.
phone, so if he switched off to Facebook, that's probably why.
Okay.
Because when you said I was gone, that's what I did.
Oh, there he is again. Hold on. Add the stream, and I got to remove that one. All right, there we go. You back now?
You're back,
I'm back,
sir.
my friend.
You what?
I went to go check on Facebook.
Yeah, you don't do that. Don't do that while we're in the thing. That'll kick you from the stream. Hold on.
I've got a little bit of an echo, but do I sound clear to you?
Yeah, you sound okay. A little bit of echo, though. Yes, you are correct. Okay, so
Is there any way I can
as we were saying about the soldiers, why are they? And Christina explained to Nikki why we're what the show is about, so I guess back to the soldiers. Why are they so loyal to this? I mean, it's been 5 years. The Emperor's gone. Most of them, I thought, just like in the old days, would have converted over to the New Republic, but instead, it seems that they're still lingering around. They still have spaceships. Who's paying for the spaceships? Imperial credits are not good anywhere. So how is all this working out for them? That's what I don't understand.
Well, I understand it. Okay. And the reason why is because I used to work for Sears years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I worked for Sears, they were all self-encompassing. You could do your work and then go buy stuff and do everything. And it was like one little compound.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're part of the Imperial force and they had millions of Imperial credits, you're on this ship or you're on this base, you're getting paid with their money, and you're paying with Imperial credits to an Imperial ship.
Mm-hmm.
So that way that you can still live your life.
But are you really living your life?
It's
your life.
Know. Like, if they don't know any different, if they don't know any better, especially because they're stormtroopers, like, they don't know any better.
Yeah, well, they're not clone troopers, so they're regular citizens that were, signed up for this. They're regular citizens that signed up for this.
But it's been your life, all of your life. And remember, they used to grab people off of their worlds, and they would raise up into this life.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at Finn. Finn got grabbed as a kid.
Yeah.
He didn't know any better.
But there were other stormtroopers that broke out of it. That happened with Finn. He found other stormtroopers that went with him, to the worlds or whatever,
But I'm talking about these families or these kids that grabbed at like 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
What else do they know?
They don't. They don't know anything else.
That's why they're still loyal.
Mm-hmm.
And they're comfortable, so they don't leave.
Again, I say they are some royal people because Imperial credits. What did he say in Star Wars 1? Republic credits are no good here. I mean, they're being placed. Evidently, the New Republic isn't that big because somehow they still have the Empire still has Star Destroyers that have not been wiped out, and they still have some kind of power in the outer rims, and probably in the core systems, which we saw with the rise of the First Order. They still have power. Which to me, I thought the New Republic would have destroyed most of that.
Well, if you think about it, they signed a treaty. The Empire's no more, but they're surviving in the Outer Rim.
Mm-hmm.
And so since they're in the outer rim, they can still enforce their way. They can still hurt people and do it like they were doing on this with this base right here. They can still exert their will.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it makes sense that they still have these folks loyal to the Imperial, the Empire. They're loyal to the Emperor, and they want to rebuild it.
Mm-hmm. So,
especially because there's so many like higher ups that are still around.
Right.
Like there's enough of them to be like, we can just keep going.
And Moff Gideon, I think, is, other than Admiral Thrawn, is the first person in power that we've seen that has not either been, how can I put this, of the paler persuasion. Everybody else has been either a white male, or and even back in the old days, it was white females, or there were no females on any of the ships that I can recall working for the Empire. It was really weird that there was no females on their ships, like that I can recall. It's only in the modern era that we start seeing that there was more and more females there, and other races. I mean, they used to turn their nose down when they hired bounty hunters because they were, not the perfect Empire breed, I guess, or whatever you want to say. They weren't all Palpatines. So they had some Third Reich.
We don't want their scum. Yes.
Right. They had some Third Reich type things. It was always built up to be like the Third Reich in a way. And it's amazing that Moff Gideon got to the level of Moth. You know what it takes to become a Moth? I mean, it's not simple. You got to rise through the ranks to do that. It's not something you can easily do.
But that's a bad man.
Yes.
Moff Gideon is a bad man.
And we still don't know how he got the dark saber from the Mandalorians, or from Maul, because Maul, I think, was the last person to have the dark. Yeah. So after they raid the base, in the process of raiding the base, they find something out, which is pretty eye-opening, which is they've been experimenting with the baby's blood, the child's blood, Baby Yoda, and using it to create clones. Now, we don't know, because when I first saw the clones in the vat, the first thing I thought about was Snoke. But I don't know. But then at the end, we see Gideon presiding over a bunch of stormtroopers, but they're not normal stormtroopers. Maybe they're ones that can actually hit targets.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at it, those are dark troopers.
Yes.
That's what I thought they were.
And those dark troopers, those are in the expanded universe.
Yeah, and they're imbued with the Force.
And they initially had those. They had those things as actually robots, and they were using them as highly advanced mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
But they're actually trying to make Force-sensitive clones to put into those dark troopers so that they could be able to be the ultimate fighting force.
I still think this might lead to Snoke, or the explanation on how Palpatine came back, since they didn't really go into it in the other story.
Well, but this definitely explains Snoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mando sees all this stuff, and he sees that they need more blood from the baby. And the doctor showed back up, and he says in his stream that he doesn't want to kill it. And then he also at the same time finds out that Moff Gideon is alive. Why he assumed that a crashing TIE fighter would kill this man when earlier episodes Cara Dune thought that he was dead too, and he wasn't. I don't know. I mean, evidently he's like,
man,
you got
to crash.
What's that?
Why didn't he just go check the crash?
It's not like he didn't have a ship to go check,
or a jetpack, or any sort of.
But think about it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's a crash of a ship. I mean, that's a pretty decent explanation or understanding as to why he thought he was dead.
Finn survived a crash on a ship. Poe Dameron survived a crash of a ship. No, it's not a good explanation.
But there's a lot of people that didn't survive.
Yes. This is true.
I could understand it. I could understand.
But if this is the man that raised your home world, you not want to make sure he's dead.
Yeah,
I just love the way Mando got his butt.
What was that?
Wait, what did you say, Christina?
I said I would just also think that as like a Mandalorian whose like life is on bounties, like wouldn't you want to go make sure that someone who tried to kill you is dead? No? Okay.
Yes.
Let him live to fight another day.
It's a little plot hole, but I mean it's Star Wars.
I mean it was put there on purpose, so
yeah. And what were you saying, Nate?
And that's what I was saying. I mean, they wanted to be able to flesh out a show.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be able to show that Mando has to go and get the baby, or his name. I'm sorry, Din Djarin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had to make sure that he had to go get Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a good way to segue into the actual battle when he was on the Razor Crest fighting the TIE fighters.
Yes.
That was the way to bring that in.
And it was also exciting when they were escaping the base before everything blew up, you know,
Let's talk about that fight.
It was more on Cara Dune, Grief, and Mithral about getting out of that base and everything they had to go through to get out of it. And the stormtroopers still cannot hit the broadside of a womp rat. But they're still, you know, they're being chased and they're just doing everything they can to get out. They do eventually start going. They get the I think it was a stormtrooper deployer that they showed in the season finale of season 1, and they're flying off in that one, and there's got guns on it, and they're just having a ball. It was basically very exciting, but in the end, unfortunately, Grief Karga hit one of the TIE fighters, and it crashed into the back of the ship, basically knocking out one of the guns, basically their only gun. So they're down to their last breath, and they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna make it." And then, of course, the Razor Crest comes out of nowhere and says, "F you, we taking this out." And the baby is hilarious in this. He's in the back like,
my God, he's like,
wait. But look, before we get into the actual like fight of the Razor Crest, let's talk about Cara Dune for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that is a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Love her.
Well, she is a shock trooper.
Cara Dune had me impressed.
Mm-hmm.
She was impressive. Not only did she kick so much butt, but I mean, she just jumped into the transporter and just wilded out.
Yep. I mean, but think about how many battles she's seen. Think about how many battles she's seen. She used to be dropped. She used to be dropped onto ships and attacked, kind of like what we saw in Rise of Skywalker. She used to be dropped on ships and attack, you know, stuff that way. Although some of that is unreasonable, but still, that's what she used to be. She was a drop trooper. She was a drop trooper, basically.
Can I tell you something? I know that the actress that's doing Cara Dune is under some fire, and I know a lot of people want to get rid of her, but I hope they don't.
Under fire for what?
She's a bad woman.
She said some things about COVID, you know, the usual stuff that we don't want to get into.
Christina, what she did was first she said that we were all leadable by wearing masks and COVID don't exist. And then she also said something about the election, saying that it was being stolen. And so now there's a movement to get rid of her.
I don't think you should get rid of her. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's their choice. That's the good thing about America.
Look, if Warner Brothers isn't going to get rid of Amber Heard, I highly doubt.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started with that nonsense.
Like, I highly doubt she's going to
go. That's another show.
That's a whole other thing. Like, I can talk about that for days.
Right.
So they end up getting saved by the Razor Crest, and Mando and Grief Karga call it even, you know, because they repaired the ship, and they basically destroyed that base with Mando's help, and so they end up sending off and going off on their way. And then the New Republic.
Hey, wait. let's talk about how much of a better job they actually did repairing the Razor Crest.
Well, it wasn't for
brand new
1,000
again.
credits, sir. It wasn't 1,000. All he had when he landed on that last world in the last episode was 1,000 credits. Sir, if you bring me your beat up 72 Bonneville and you give me $100, what do you expect me to do?
Shout out
Clean
to Jamal Hook with the 72 Bonneville.
If you show up in the 72 Bonneville with the wheel bearings tore up, your transmission tore up, and you give me $100, you know what you're gonna get.
A clean car.
So
Nice
that's what you, I
detail.
mean, what do you expect them to do? I mean, what do you expect them to do in this, you know? So, you know.
They did a fine job of fixing the Razor Crest.
Yes, with some
Sadly, they put a beacon in it.
additional things, with a beacon in there, you know, leading back to, you know, Moff Gideon, and we see his, I don't know if she was the first lieutenant or first officer, but alerting him, and that's when we get a little view of the Dark Storm, or the stormtroopers, the new stormtroopers that they're working on. But also during all that, you know, the New Republic comes and they get to the home world, or they get to Cara Dune's world and Grief Karga's world, and they go over, you know, what happened. And Grief's like, yeah. No, we never saw Mando. Mando wasn't here. What are you talking about? He's gone. Razor Crest is gone. You know, what do you want me to do? You know? But
I love how he said, wait. I love how he said, the beacon. He says, come on now. We don't know of anything we can pick up in a ship pre-Empire. We never said it was the Razor Crest.
mm-hmm.
Oh, that was great. That was good stuff.
So does this mean that Mando is still being tracked not only by Moff Gideon's group, but also by the New Republic? Although
they're still trying to get him.
Yeah, they're still trying to get him. And again, like I said, Baby Yoda was a little bit more just palpable for me this episode. Because the last two episodes, he's been a little rough for me. And I know y'all say, well, he's a baby, it's okay. He's eating people's eggs. Screw y'all. He foul. Mando told him six times not to eat the egg, man.
He didn't even scramble him. He didn't bring him up and get him poached or over easy. He was just swallowing them whole like deviled eggs. He was like, choke.
Yep. I mean, this is what he does. I mean, he's a little jerk. And yes, he's a baby. And you're right. He does need to be trained. Oh my God.
You said tamed.
And then somebody made. Oh, I got to show y'all this. Hold on. This is hilarious. Somebody made Baby Yoda deviled eggs. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Let me see. There you go. There you go. They look interesting.
Oh my Lord.
I would try those.
But that took some time, and more time than I have the power and the energy to do any of that, because I'm not doing all that. But that's funny to me.
To whoever did it.
You have more talent than me. My talent lies in computers and elsewhere. But then, you know, in the end, so we know they're coming to some big conclusion. This is episode 4. This is the midway part. I think there's 8 episodes in total.
Right.
My only thing was I should have known we weren't going to see Ahsoka yet.
No. We're going to see her. The rumor says that we're going to see her in 5.
Okay.
Which is the next episode.
Quick question. Who was viewing him from the shadows? Was that the Mandalorians that was checking him out?
That was the Mandalorians.
Okay.
That was the Mandalorians.
And shout out to Sasha.
Yeah, that was Sasha Banks' character.
Her debut. She did her thing in that. Although she didn't have a lot of
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
Sasha did her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha did her thing. I was really impressed on what she did and how she handled it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we see some more of Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm. And
you know how she got into it, right?
No, I don't know how she got.
Yeah, what happened was that the creator saw her, reached out to her, and said, "I got a perfect role for you."
Mm-hmm.
And they basically wrote that role for her. Like, it was beautiful, and they brought her in,
Now, I will also
and
say
she
this.
brought it. That was a good job.
I will also say this: if you are interested in learning more about Ahsoka before she debuts in this, watch the Clone Wars. It is and Rebels.
Yes, and what you need to do,
Go ahead.
you need to do that before this next episode.
And it's a lot to digest. It is a lot. I'm gonna tell you that now. It is a lot.
I'm probably just gonna look it up because that's a whole
I
show
would,
to
you
watch
know
a
what,
week.
CJ, I would say watch the last season of Clone Wars, which
Right.
was just excellent. It was more. It started off on Anakin and Obi-Wan, but after like 2 or 3 episodes, they got to Ahsoka, and it kind of finished her arc in there. And then watch the last episode of, I think it's the last 3 episodes of Rebels, and that kind of concludes her storyline as well. So the question I have, Banks, and I don't know if you've seen the end of Rebels, but at the end of Rebels, which is after the Empire falls, you see Ahsoka and I can't remember the other character's name, the other Mandalorian's name that was on Rebels, go off into the outer rim, like past the outer rim into the Forgotten Lands to go find Ezra because he's out there somewhere because he took Admiral Thrawn somewhere with the whales. So is this after that or before that?
I think it's after.
So is this going to be the end of Ahsoka's arc period? Because we do hear her talking to Rey through the Force, which means she's a Force ghost by the time of Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that we're leading up to a climax. It's going to be between Ahsoka and Din versus Moff Gideon.
Yes, that is true, and I'm sure with the little badge that they left Cara Dune that she's going to be in, and the Republic's going to be in someplace somehow. I'm hoping it's not a dark ending where they end up taking the baby, getting the baby, which some storylines do. And this is the second chapter, and Star Wars is horrendous for the second chapter just being just bad news for the heroes all around. Just dark. I mean, Attack of the Clones wasn't necessarily dark other than the start of a war, but it's still...
That's dark, my friend. That's dark.
It was dark for Boba Fett more than it was dark for the Republic. Boba Fett lost his daddy.
No, but it was dark. It was dark.
Okay.
And I think that this season 2 is going to end on a dark step, but we'll see. I just can't wait to see Ahsoka.
What'd you say, CJ?
You guys think it's only going to be 3 seasons following the usual
I
Wars?
don't know, because Rebels was 4 seasons, Clone Wars was 8, but this is live action. And this is the first and most productive live action thing they've done since the prequels. And I hate to say that. The prequels, as much as I dislike episode 1 and episode 2 with Anakin just being a whiny little bee, episode 3 is still my stuff. That's still my stuff because that was like a turnaround. And I have been disappointed in the other ones, and we'll go on this on another show that we do. But I did like the sequels, but I can't say that I go back to view them. I can't say that it's like Star Wars or Return of the Jedi, where you could ask if your grandfather was still with us, Christina. You could ask him how many times I watched Return of the Jedi. That man wanted to throw that damn movie at me because I kept renting it every damn time. He's like, "Didn't you just see that movie?" I'm like, whatever. I'm putting this back in the thing. Come on, Luke. Come on, Luke. Come on, Luke.
Actually, I do watch episode 9. I go back to episode 9. I don't go back to 7 and 8, but I do go back to 9.
I've watched 7, I think, more than 8. I just started watching 8 again because we got Disney Plus, so I watched it a couple times on there. But 9, I haven't gotten myself back. I've watched 9 twice. I saw it in theaters once, and then I saw it again with Michael Perry, again in theaters. And he just came out. He was like, "This is trash." And the problem with 9, and we'll do this on another episode, was he was trying too much to fix what Rian Johnson did in 8. And if he hadn't tried to cram that all into 9, it wouldn't have been a problem.
And that's what I was gonna say. Nine
Exactly,
was
Eric. This is the way.
spent so
Exactly.
much time trying to fix 8, and so.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like 9. Out of all of them, I still watch 9.
Yeah, yeah. And the Emperor, as always, just overacting correctly.
That damn
Oh
Palpatine.
yeah, man! I'm telling you. Well, that whole damn line.
So
I mean, think about it. That's how much Ray. That's how Ray had much power.
mm-hmm. So
Because she was a
Christina,
Palpatine.
you have your ear to the young folks. What have they been thinking about Mandalorian? I know Mandalorian's been very popular for all the Star Wars oldies, but
Yeah.
what about your generation?
I mean, from the people that I know that watch it, they like it a lot because it's a nice like segue from Return of the Jedi to like the sequels.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like, I don't know. I feel like they like it, but it's also like some of it you have to be like pretty deep in the lore to understand. And for, casual
I mean, because
watchers,
nobody knew about Ahsoka.
like, yeah.
Right.
I only
Nobody
knew
knows
about her
about
because
Ahsoka.
of other people telling me about her from Clone Wars, and because I knew that she was in Clone Wars when it was on like Cartoon Network. I never watched it,
right?
But I knew who she was,
and that kind of messed up not Rise of Skywalker, but Revenge of the Sith. That kind of messed that up because it was never brought up about Ahsoka. She was never brought up in Episode 3.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah.
And so then you had when Episode 3 came out. Yes, she was Anakin's apprentice. That is a big hole. That's all Clone Wars is about. Is not only the struggle with the Republic against the oh God, I forgot what they were called, the Separatists, but also the rise of Anakin trying to help Ahsoka become a Jedi when he himself was not finished becoming a Jedi.
We saw her at one point in Clone Wars, like at the very end.
No, we saw her and she had her own. There was an animated movie that came out and everybody made fun of, and it was Clone Wars. And this was before the TV show came out, and it was when Ahsoka first made her appearance.
Gotcha.
And that was when they had to go save. Remember, Jabba the Hutt's son. Yeah, they had to go save his son. And I think that's also on Disney Plus. But again, a lot of her story is in the expanded universe, which would be Clone Wars and Rebels. And again, if you're going to watch anything about Ahsoka, watch the last season of Clone Wars, because that is just. And just remember that David Filoni, who has been in charge of all this stuff, has done an outstanding job of keeping all this together and keeping up with the lore and taking what George Lucas has done and trying to make more of it. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Admiral Thrawn. Admiral Thrawn would still be in the expanded universe, which they don't count as, I think it's, what is it called? The Legacy universe or whatever. Because he was a big part of the books before we got the sequels. Admiral Thrawn was the big villain. He was the big bad for like 3 books. And Han and Leia had twins that were fighting against this guy and fighting all this stuff, and all this got thrown away when Disney took it over. Disney basically had a blueprint for sequels. They had a blueprint.
And they said bye.
Yeah, they said bye, which I can understand. You want to put your own stamp on it.
But I want to say this. I got to give a mad shout out to Disney Plus, and I'm telling you, they have done a damn fine job with The Mandalorian. And these scripts are great. Dave Filoni has done an impressive job. They've just all done an impressive job. And this episode was directed by Carl Weathers.
Yes.
And you can tell he directed it because it was probably one of the most action-packed actual episodes.
Well, he is Action Jackson, sir. He is Action Jackson.
He is Action Jackson.
Faster. Fastest.
Yeah.
That's an old movie, CJ. Before your time. I don't think you've ever seen it. I don't think I ever showed it to you. Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell y'all. I mean, this was a damn fine episode. But I want to talk about how when the New Republic showed up and he was asking all them questions, and he went out to Cara Dune. And when he talked to Cara Dune and he talked about her world, that was very eye-opening. Let's talk about that for a minute. About how
we never saw the fallout from the Alderanians of their world being destroyed. We never saw the effect it had on anybody that was off world, other than
Besides
Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Other than Leia, we never saw any fallout. I mean, there was plenty of citizens that were off world when that world was destroyed, and what they went through and what they had to deal with internally of knowing their world is gone.
I mean, they blew up Alderaan. She was from Alderaan, and he asked her, well, did you lose? I lost everything. I had to pause it for a moment and digest that, because I thought to myself, that explains a lot. That explains
a lot with her
toughness.
character. Yeah.
Yes, it really did. And I just, at that point, I understand who she is and why when she was introduced to us in the first season on her character, how she portrayed her character. And then remember, he left a New Republic medal for her.
Yeah, I thought that was like a badge telling her, to come back.
That was a medal, a New Republic. Right, that was a New Republic medal.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept staring at that medal. And that lets us know that could potentially be a whole other. Like if they, some people saw it as, and I watched the little blogs and the web, like, I kind of read the blog.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say, well, that could be her way out. I said, no. That could also be their way into starting her own spinoff show, her rejoining back the Republic and the exploits of being part of the New Republic.
Yeah, because we never really understand, where 7 takes off. How in the God's green earth is the First Order the most powerful thing in the world, in the universe, when the New Republic had basically taken over, from the Empire, and it looks like they never got the Empire's assets or anything. It's just like hey, we're the new governing thing, but these people over here don't listen for it.
And that could be the explanation and a way to explain and bridge how the First Order rose from the ashes of the Empire to take over the galaxy again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would be like a main if and it probably will get like a season 3. I feel like that's gonna be what season 3 is gonna be all about. If they're gonna do it in like a normal Star Wars trope where they do like 3 of like a live thing, I feel like that's gonna be what season 3 is all about.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a way to give. Yeah, I think that's a way to give Cara Dune her own episodes, her own spinoff, and I would tune into that as well.
I think they're still working on. They're still trying to get an Obi-Wan thing going on where he's watching over Luke. That'll be in between A New Hope and Rise of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith. So we'll see if that comes out, because Ewan McGregor is not getting any younger. So if they want to do it, you got to start working on it now. Right, you got to do it now. So, any closing thoughts, Miss Christina?
I'm excited
about this episode.
I'm excited to see what comes next. I'm super excited to meet Ahsoka. Love badass female characters; they're the best.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Jedi, because like there were female Jedi, but like until Rey, we didn't really see them in action, I guess. And so
no, we saw them getting killed. We saw them getting killed.
So seeing another one and having the focus be on her for a little bit, I think would be super nice. And I'm just excited to see how it is. Let's see how they round out the season.
And Big Nate, your thoughts?
First off, again, The Mandalorian is an incredible show. I just love everything they're doing with it. I will tell you, sorry, a fly came in. And one of the things I will tell you is I can't wait to this next episode. Like, this is the episode I'm waiting with bated breath. Because Dave Filoni is directing episode 5, so it makes sense that they're going to bring Ahsoka during episode 5.
Yeah, because he created her.
Right, and so my thought is Dave Filoni created her, so it just makes sense since he's directing episode 5 that we're going to meet Ahsoka in episode 5 sometime. Mm-hmm. I think they picked the right actress. Rosario Dawson, I think is going to crush.
You didn't know that's who it was? Nate, I was trying to hold that back.
I literally just looked it up because he was talking about it. Like, I wonder who they picked for her. I'm even more excited. I love
And,
it.
and I want to talk about that for a second. Listen, one of the things that I loved about the whole Star Wars, the trilogies, all of it, is to have a strong female character backing it. That's one thing I got to give Star Wars credit, is that there's always a strong female character, somebody that women can look up to and say she's strong, she's a leader.
Yeah, because Leia came in and she was like, "I'm no joke.
I'm taking over.
Don't care.
Like, I'm tired of y'all."
I'm tired.
Right, and so for us to be able to chomp on to Ahsoka, who is going to be strong, and she's going to, I think this is just my prediction, because we didn't even talk about how they brought back Boba Fett and how he survived, for years in the Sarlacc belly. But the reality of it is that I think, because if we follow Star Wars and how the second episode, or generally the second installation, is always the darker one, if Boba Fett works with, he works with Moff Gideon to steal that baby, and now Ahsoka and Din, aka Mando, they gotta now work together to get that baby back, and it's gonna be old school Boba Fett, old school versus new school Mando, and her fighting to try to get that Darksaber. The climax of this episode, the climax of this second season, I think is going to be incredible.
Well, that means the Mandalorians are going to pop up probably in either the third season or the end of this season to try to get back that Darksaber, because they're after it as well.
Yeah, so think about it. We got the Darksaber line, and then we're going to have now Ahsoka and Baby Yoda with Moff Gideon. I think all these worlds are going to collide. I think it's going to be climactic. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be dark, and I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. But, so I don't want to put the cart before the horse. But see, this fifth installation, I might not. We don't have to go to work on Friday, because it's the day after Thanksgiving, and since we can't really do Black Friday because I don't want to catch COVID, when the episodes I don't know what time they drop it,
3 a.m.
But I will probably be watching. I will probably get up, set my alarm, have breakfast ready, and I will probably watch episode 5 with bated breath. So I just can't wait.
Well, that's good. Then maybe we can talk about it on Friday instead of Saturday. Again, I waited, and it also depends on Christina's schedule.
Oh, no, Friday's good.
Huh?
Friday's good.
Okay. So there's a lot of things in play. So it'll be interesting to see if they close out Moff Gideon's storyline, this season, or if it carries over into the next season. And like Christina says, actually next season is less like the growth of the First Order. It may be there.
Well, let's think about it. Let's think about it. We see the precursors of what we think how Snoke is going to come about, and that way they can explain, because they got to get the baby back to get enough blood to be able to create a Snoke. So I think the baby's going to eventually be captured, and I think episode 3 is going to be a combination of them trying to get him back, and then also trying to get that Darksaber back. So I think the third installment is going to be fun as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like if it follows normal Star Wars, it's gonna end with them losing him.
Oh yeah, because Last Jedi was just sad as hell. Luke was like, "I'm not doing shit. Fuck y'all." Excuse my language. And then, the Empire or the First Order was on their butts forever. And our cousin Jerome, CJ, we're gonna have to talk to him because he ain't never watched Star Wars. So we're gonna have to have a little talk with Pastor Jerome there, because that ain't no, sir, no.
You gotta join the nerd clan.
It's not for everybody. I will say that my wife doesn't enjoy him. Tanya doesn't enjoy him, and I know most of the kids enjoy him except for Angel, but Angel's a different breed. I don't know what's up with her. Yeah, she's 10. She's in the Roblox,
But I will say this: when I had a chance to explain to Elijah, because we didn't watch this episode 4 together, but we watched episode 3. And I had to literally explain to him who Ahsoka was and play a little bit of the Clone Wars for him, and then the fight between her and Vader. And that's something that is amazing.
Oh,
It's
that was
fight
the other thing I
between her
wanted
and
to go over,
Vader.
CJ. You have got to watch the end of season 2 of Rebels because Ahsoka and Vader meet, and Ahsoka's like, "I'm not leaving you again, Anakin," and he was like, "Oh no, you about to die."
Oh no.
And so that if you really want to get yourself acclimated, start with that last episode of Rebels and then watch the last season of Clone Wars. You'll be all right.
Right. Well, no, it's so the whole thing leading up to Anakin, at the beginning of season 2, Anakin or Darth Vader figures out that Ahsoka's still alive. And he's like, oh. And he just calls her the apprentice of Anakin. He's talking in third person. So Anakin to him is dead, which is, the same way that how Ben does it, how the same way Obi-Wan does it. And by the end of that second season is him and Ahsoka inside of a Sith, it's either a Sith or a Jedi temple fighting.
It's Sith temple. It's a Sith temple.
And then you'd have to go to like the last couple of episodes of Rebel in season 4 to really see the rest of Ahsoka's storyline.
Do that before.
I can give you the homework. I can give you homework. I know it's not really homework. They're all 30-minute episodes. It's not really that long. Especially Clone Wars is like bam, 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 and Rebels is bam, bam, bam. But it's all together, and these are all created by David Fillion. So he's been doing an awesome job keeping the Star Wars nerds going. Much better than the Harry Potter nerds have had luck with, because we have been left out on a lot of things. Instead of doing sequels with Harry, hey, let's go back and do prequels. Why?
What? Why? And if we're gonna do prequels,
the rise of Voldemort.
Prequels about why are we doing prequels about him?
The guy that wrote a book.
The guy whose son marries Luna. That's the only way we know about him.
Oh, I didn't even know that was the guy whose son married Luna. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
His son marries Luna. And so it makes a lot of sense that way. But other than that, we would have much rather had prequels about the Marauders or prequels about the Founders. Those would have been a lot more exciting. But anyway, that's a whole different show.
It's a whole different show. But as far as Star Wars is concerned, I think we're good going forward. I think people are, though, upset about the sequels. I'm wondering if from Mando, folks can see that Disney does have a vision. It just depends on who's steering. If David Fillion's at the lead, we have good future. But when they start splintering and you don't have a concise vision, like George Lucas, I don't care what anybody says, George Lucas had a concise vision for the first 3, but then 1, 2, and 3, he was it was disjointed a lot. I mean, because I swear that Obi-Wan said he met Anakin when he was a starfighter, which means he was older. But then we come to find out he was 8 when he met him. So it's like, okay, which is it? So that being said, I want to thank Big Nate, my brother, for joining us. I want to thank Christina, my lovely daughter, one of my lovely daughters, for joining us. This has been a discussion about Mandalorian Chapter 12. I hope everybody has enjoyed it, and everybody have a blessed and wonderful Saturday. And we are signing off because it's been an hour and 3 minutes, and we could probably keep going for another 4, which is just y'all don't want to watch that. Y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want none of that. Y'all ain't about that life. So everyone have a good day.
I'm a Star Wars nerd. I'm about that life, but I don't think anybody else.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Take care now.
Bye.